Well, welcome to Tuesday at 7. We appreciate you guys joining us. If you've never been part of Tuesday at 7, it's just a group of artists and creators and makers who gather digitally once a week. But today, I know it's a little noisy right now, but we wanted to start outside. We are with Brian and Sarah Green.
Hi.
And we've known each other for many,
it's been
many
a really
years.
long time. Yeah, I don't even want to say. I don't know.
Decades.
Yeah, it has been
Probably
at
two
least.
decades.
I think so. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
our boys grew up, and so we had a lot in common. But what we also had in common was a love for the art and vintage, retro, horror, and all that.
And,
So, so we're down here. And what's the name of your shop? And
yeah. So we are Miscreant and the Muse. We're out in Old Brooklyn. We're here on Pearl Road. We're right at the corner of Pearl and Spokane.
So point us down there. So this is Spokane, and if people know,
this is Pearl all the way down. If you keep going, you'll hit the zoo. We've got the library across the street, Geek Peak down the street.
Right,
yeah, a bunch of great shops down there. So yeah, it's a fun neighborhood.
Coffee is right down the street there.
Yeah.
and we're right on the corner here
Yep.
of Spokane, and this is Pearl.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
You
Well,
want us to take you in?
yeah, let's
right.
take us in. And we appreciate you guys joining us today. Thank you.
All right.
Perfect.
Come on in.
Well, we are so happy that you allowed us into your shop. I know there's a
thank
story
you.
behind it, and we're going to hear about that. But what we want to do is, right off the bat, as you guys are joining, what we encourage you to do is share this video. At the very bottom of your screen, the bottom left-hand side, there's a share button, or it's an arrow. When you share, Facebook will prompt you as to what to do next. We encourage you to share to your friends list, maybe to a group.
Sure.
You could share it to individuals too. You could just go in and go, I'm going to share it to this individual. You know, maybe some of our past coworkers.
Yeah, exactly.
So that they can see what we're up to. But your share is what gets the word out, and we appreciate you sharing. But if you share, we know it. And next week we're going to do a drawing, and there's going to be what do you guys? I know you guys are offering something.
Do you want to give that out there?
Yeah.
$25 gift card.
Yeah, so that will encourage you to walk through these doors, pick up some stuff,
Come and say hi.
Yes, come say hi.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. To date stamp this, it is kids are going back to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids are going back to school. It is
just
August.
yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
August of 2024. And if you joined us 2 weeks ago, we were out, and we don't live too far from Tribal Balance, but we were with Daniela Calabrese at Tribal Balance, and that thing blew up. There were so many people watching and checking that out. We appreciate you guys joining us a couple weeks ago. And if you shared that video, your name is in here, and Danielle's getting a piece of jewelry that she made.
Cool.
So you just go ahead
that's
and
cool.
pick one of those
All right,
ones.
let's see what we got. All right.
Temo. Thank you, Demo, for going ahead and sharing. He's a great artist.
Oh, awesome.
Great artist. And actually, he was a guest years ago. So thank you for sharing. Thank you guys for putting your names in the hat. And we're...
Yes. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you.
Well, what we want to do is... You guys are, I mean, we live up the street for miles. What's the story about why you opened the doors here,
Right.
and how you landed down here?
Right. So let me talk about the way back story.
Yeah.
So I've been on Etsy since 2008. Right before we got together, making jewelry, doing different things. It had so many different incarnations. We were teaching ourselves how to screen print stuff in the basement. So we were making t-shirts all of a sudden, and we've just kind of been DIY in nature this whole time. And it was around the pandemic that we really started to lean into a lot of what we do. We got the new identity of Miscreant and the Muse, and that just started to kind of snowball everything from there. So
It really just kind of honed in, like, the identity of what we wanted the store to be actually become.
Yeah. Horror, vintage, tiki, all that stuff is kind of our inspiration. We always said 4 fans, 5 fans.
Yes.
Pop culture.
Yeah, primarily horror, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, we've been looking randomly for brick and mortar spaces. We were doing pop-up events. Pop-up events get really hard after a while. And when we're lugging grid wall and you're lugging boxes and crates and stuff. It's a ton of fun, though. We loved interacting with the people. We loved being able to expand products.
Met some great vendors, some great people. A lot of the customers that come back year and year, they come and find us at all the different events we do. Like, we love all of you guys. So, it is a good time.
Yeah. Well, tell them about the neighborhood, though, because Old Brooklyn is a place that we've looked at for a long time. We finally got lucky.
Well, we actually weren't even really looking to open a brick and mortar just yet. Like, we had tossed around the idea a few times, but then our friend Emma over at No Class, she was working with a real estate company and showed us, some information on a couple of places. And we actually went to go look at a different place. And, it was close to an old neighborhood, that I used to live in, the old, the West Boulevard neighborhood. So I was like, of course I want to go and check that out. I want to, I would love to go and set up in my old neighborhood. And it just wasn't quite right. It just wasn't, the parking wasn't great or anything. And she was like, well, there's another place. And she said she told us where it was. And then we came down here and I messaged her immediately. It was like, is this the address? She's like, yeah, that's the one. And I'm like, okay, as soon as that becomes available, we want it. Because, I mean, the place is fantastic. It's in, again, another one of my old neighborhoods, 44109. I used to live over at by St. Rocco's. So, like, I love the idea of being able to, like, do something like this and give back, because that is part of the business. Is like we do want to treat it as a bit of an incubator as well.
Work with people.
We're going to work with people and try to get them started doing some of the things we do.
And I love that, and I think that's why you're picking the interest of artists and groups to say, I have similar interests. Yeah. And I would like to open an Etsy store or find a place, that might be interested in consignment.
Exactly.
And and this is a perfect place. But Drake, if you'd come over here, just like show like from the inside, like this place is perfect. And Brian, I lived on Treadway, just over on the other side, right off of Broadview Road for years. And I love Old Brooklyn. Love Old Brooklyn. And we even did an interview from the new Never Say Dive.
Oh, we love them.
Absolutely. Great place. And so, there's a
lot is happening out here, and a lot that suits us too. Buckland Witchcraft Museum is over there, and we've got the Geek Peaklet we mentioned right here and stuff. So there's a little resurgence. There's a fun little community coming together. It's nice.
Buckland just stopped in the other day. Just to have a chat.
Now, I don't imagine that the decor was as great when you took this place over as it is now, right?
It was a project.
Yeah, it was a project.
It was a bit to work on.
Yeah.
It was a recording studio.
Oh,
yeah. So
so picture a bunch of rooms kind of made all down this little hallway and stuff. And
it was very much a DIY recording studio, but it was I had some work to do. I had some work to do just to clear out some stuff first. But once we opened it up, we almost immediately saw the vision.
Yeah,
I mean it's a great place.
Thank you.
It's a great place. Location is phenomenal as well.
Oh, we love it.
I love what you've done here on the inside. You're like, put up a hammock and just kind of hang out here for a while, because it is
We have seats here.
Yeah. We welcome the conversation.
Nice. Absolutely. You went from creating, screen printing, being in love with, the genre, the art of it. You decided to, do you still have that Etsy store, or did you close and just come here?
We do. So right now we do still have the Etsy store. So we started doing that. We started doing print on demand, and there was even like laser engraving on demand at that point in time. Yes. And then, like I mentioned, during the pandemic, we do primarily laser engraving, sublimation, hand sewing, embroidery, that sort of thing is what we do ourselves for the shop. During the pandemic, we were able to bring it all in house because I had all this fabric and I learned how to make masks, and I put it out to our friends just in those moments in the very beginning, just to say, hey, I've got fabric. Like, does anybody need masks? And I think in 24 hours, we were making like 200 masks.
Yeah, as soon as we put it out there, I think within 4 days, we had 3 orders from friends who went to employee or like coworkers and everything, and they were coming to us with 150 mask orders, 300 mask orders. So it really was.
Yeah.
I think within the first 2 weeks, we had 2,500 masks that we had to make. So it really.
He learned how to use the sewing machine. The kids were upstairs with us packaging things, and like it was
it was just making masks all day long.
Yeah.
Eating sometimes.
So that was a crazy year, but we were able to bring most of it in house.
We were able to,
and that is what really helped us expand. And now once we started doing pop-ups, Etsy's fantastic. We're going to maintain it for a while still. Like, I know a lot of people are on the fence sometimes about their fees and things like that, but for us, the audience that it brings, because we're super niche,
so worth it.
It makes it worth it. We'll have our own direct website that we start to develop now, so we can expand and get the wholesaler, the consignment artists out there too.
Yeah. Your Etsy shop, because we'll grab it and we'll put it down here. But what's the? How do you find us?
Everything is the Miscreant and the Muse.
All right, spell that for us.
So Miscreant is MISCREANT and the MUSE.
Yeah, the alliteration is nice, and where did the inspiration? I mean, it's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
But the inspiration behind the name, I mean, it flows, and did it come to you like a strike of lightning?
It did. It just happened. We were formerly called More Everything because that's how we felt. We were into everything. We did everything. We were like, oh, great, it's a good umbrella, but it didn't. We could never capture a good identity with it. Right. I don't feel like.
And honestly, and we were at a time where we were trying to think of like trying to brand ourselves and what does that mean even, and do we want to be the people who are a brand? So there were a lot of questions we had, and
we started throwing words out.
Everything seemed to be going in the direction of like a one-word business name, and nothing was working. And for some reason, we were looking at something, and the local film, like watch party, The Mummy and the Monkey.
Oh, James and Janet are part of our.
Oh yeah,
The Mummy and the Monkey. Like we saw them, and I was like, they went all in. They did practically a sentence as a name for their business, and it sounds good. Why can't we just do the same? And we tossed some things around, and
Miscreant came out, and that was kind of the end of it. There, it just happened. I just
kind of looked over at her, and I was like, "Well, and you're my muse."
Yeah.
So
I do believe I may have been called a miscreant at some point in my life by somebody whose vocabulary was much bigger than mine. But yeah, I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Take us. Point us in a direction. We love that. We love that backstory, and I'm sure that as we go, there's gonna be things that are gonna pop up to go. Oh yeah, this came from this artist, or this, this was the direction. But before we leave, you were talking about masks.
Yeah.
What were the masks made of?
Cotton. It was cotton fabric, all cotton fabric, 100% cotton.
Well, we discovered everybody was complaining about the ears, and she had discovered. She found it was a cosplay spandex.
Yeah,
it was super soft, and that's what really did it. Everybody,
because we couldn't find elastic at one point. It was sold out everywhere, and I think I bought a pair of leggings at a drugstore and just cut them up and thought, okay, well, let's see if we can do that, and it worked.
Yeah,
and so then we got the good 4-way stretch cosplay stuff, and we would cut our own straps, and that was the thing. We had friends that were nurses in the prison in Youngstown, as an example, and she was like,
those we were putting like felt on the inside as like an extra like filter liner.
But they could wear them all day, and they were super comfortable, and that's what everybody kind of latched onto.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who are watching, because there's going to be people that are watching that are going to be, seeing this in 10 years, a decade.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And so what we're talking about are the COVID masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Now were there flares that you would add to them, or you're just like, no, we were doing this so people could leave the house and...
Well, you know what? We were doing it so everybody could leave the house. But I had fabric on hand that was novelty stuff. We were playing around with making ties, or we were doing this. So we were like, you know what?
We had fabric for the spooky people. Everybody that wanted like spooky style masks, but we had other stuff like there was Disney and everything.
Yeah, or florals, or we kind of ran the gamut. But that's what started it.
I had all of our friends. They were like, well, I can't find ones with stuff that represents me.
I think I had a zombie one. I had like a warning zombie outbreak or something. So kind of tongue in cheek. Yeah. That was one of the first masks that I made, and people in the stores would be like, "Oh my gosh, where did you get that?" Yeah. So we tried to have some fun with it. You know, it was a really hard time for a lot of people, and if we could put a smile on somebody's face because they were like, "Oh, that's cool, I love that," it was nice.
You made it work, and it launched, what was already a great business to a permanent location.
Yeah.
And we love that. But before you take us around, as I'm standing here, I love the feel. I love these umbrellas.
Thank you.
I see these two pieces of. Is this artwork? Tell us about those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Those are smalls that just. Yeah. Like, walk right on that thing.
Yeah, go ahead over there.
Grab some images.
So that is a close friend of ours. Her name is Candace. She goes under Wickedly Random Art, and her pieces really they're very different. They're very dimensional. Very spooky. Those with the teeth, personally, for me, give me a little bit of the creeps because they look so real. But yeah, she's a real dimensional artist. Most of the original artwork that we have in the shop is hers at this point in time.
What's her name again?
Her first name is Candace Horn. She goes by Wickedly Random Art.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We'll make sure.
I'll add some links.
All right, point us around. Give us a tour of your place.
So when we were putting the decor together, we started buying pieces and kind of putting things in place, and it started to feel like he's the one that kind of coined it. It started to feel like we were walking into somebody's house almost. Yeah. So we really so we try to put in. We do bed, bath, decor, everything, but kind of with the spooky tilt.
Accessories.
So we would make cutting boards as an example. This was one of our flagship items that we had on Etsy. And we said, okay, we have cutting boards, a lot of crazy different stuff that people aren't really, finding.
Did someone say meatloaf?
Yeah.
Rocky Horror fans in the group?
Exactly. The anatomy pieces and things like that. And so as we started to build out or think about what we were going to do with inventory, we said, well, what can go with cutting boards? What are the things, for the home that people might be looking for that are spooky too? And so that's where, we tried to get things that would complement each other. So even books that aren't quite spooky still can help support the items that we have. So this is kind of our home and scent section. We've got an awesome consignment artist or maker, Salty Hive and Body. She does all our wax melts and candles right now. They smell fantastic. We're going to have a hard time keeping her stuff on the shelves, I think. But yeah, and then like as an example, for the sewing, so we hand sew pillow covers and just pieces to kind of brighten up somebody's house and bring that spooky in. We're bringing more Halloween stuff in right now that speaks really Halloween, but we have the spooky, the skeletons, and that kind of stuff all year round. That's what we were going for.
I even love like these mugs, like as you're drinking, right?
Yeah.
Out comes the octopus and, the snake and the spider.
Yeah, there's a big spider in that one. I'm partial to the dragon. There's a dragon up on top too. Just fun stuff.
You go ahead and serve a cup of coffee to your good friend, right? And
right.
They see the spider.
Yeah, exactly. So this was kind of the living area for the home that we walked into. Most of our consignment artists, our print artists, are featured over here.
Okay.
So we've got some great stuff from people in the Medina or Akron areas, up here in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, a lot of different artists, and all of that is all of them are on our socials. So if anybody is curious, kind of who's in the shop, and they'll be on the website here too, pretty soon. So yeah, so the art.
And what I think is, you have one of my favorite black and white movies, right outside the window.
Right outside the window. Yep, exactly.
Which listen, Pittsburgh does some things, and this is something that they did right.
Yeah, yeah. We just rewatched this one for the first time in a couple of years. I feel like the other day, and just forgot how
magical.
Yeah. You really, it's just really, it's a different zombie movie. I love it.
Right. Oh man!
But yeah, we'll have classics on there all the time. Who knows what's gonna come out there?
Weird things are gonna happen.
Well, yeah. What I also want to know is, like, your cutting boards.
Yeah,
we're talking like $25.
Well, so that's
$30. I mean, people can walk in and they could grab,
absolutely.
And,
I'm happy that you mentioned that, because it's a big deal to us. Like, we've always done that at our pop-up events and stuff. We like to make sure that we have something for every price point.
Yeah.
Like, we've got $4 stickers. We've got the coffee mugs that we do in a lower price range. There's some. I've got this awesome consignment artist out of Columbus who does hand-thrown ceramics. This is Crescent Rose Pottery, and so this is one of her steins. This one is going to run $60-$70 because of the work that goes into it. So we really run the gamut.
We have more approachable prices. Well, we have some premium things for people that want to upscale a little bit, but just something for everybody.
Yeah, that was a big goal for us when we put all of this together.
Yeah, noticeable.
Yeah,
noticeable, right? As people walk in and go, I can afford to walk in and walk out with something, that speaks to me for sure.
Yeah. And we try to be unique too. So, I mean, people like us are hard to shop for sometimes because something out of a big box store or something off of the shelf just isn't, you want something a little more keyed to their interests and stuff. So that's another big piece for us too, is just kind of delivering to that community.
I see some other artwork. Is it?
This is also that's also her. This is we're entering kind of the tiki and cocktail section now.
Okay.
We're big cocktail and tiki people. But at the same time, we have a lot of friends who are sober curious, that sort of thing. So we try to support kind of all ends of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, we've got our cocktail sticks. We've got a full line of bitter cube bitters. These you mentioned, Never Say Dive. You'll find like the Disco Inferno over at Never Say Dive for some of their cocktails, or some of the bitters will show up in LBM cocktails and things like that. So cool stuff. They've got great recipes online, real approachable for people who want to kind of experiment with that, and even recipes for using bitters in food or in baking and that sort of thing. People don't think about that. And so that's to that for mocktails, or, to that other end of things that isn't just
the cherry cacao in my coffee.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah, it was really good. It was. So yeah, a little bit more artwork. This is Carrie Ann Hudson, if I remember correctly. She's off the West Coast. Just cool, spooky, tiki.
Are these cards?
No, these are just prints.
Just prints?
Yeah, just 5x7 prints. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you open the doors. The first people walk through here as customers when?
What day was that? It was mid-July.
Yeah, when our first preview day.
It was July 12th. It was July 12th. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we took over the space in January. We were hoping to be open by April. If anybody has followed our story along the way, it has been riddled with challenges.
Quite the roller coaster. Yeah. To get to where we are now, and still going.
We're still getting there. Yeah.
Still getting there.
Yeah. But yeah, thankfully we're finally getting to a more regular schedule and starting to get people in. So it's been really nice to share.
I'll tell you what, I've seen some things that I'm going to pick up for some of my loved ones.
Oh,
for sure. Yeah. And I like your
soil stabbers.
Soil
These
stabbers.
are these are our plant stakes and kind of more of the natural
accessories.
and home section or DIY section back here. But yeah, people love our horror ladies and
Little glow in the
some
dark,
glow in the dark stuff.
jar fairy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask a very controversial question.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask the folks out in the that are watching here in the audience as well.
Mhm.
You can only pick one. You can't say, it depends on the other. Munsters or Addams Family?
Ooh, I'm a Munsters girl. Oops, sorry. I'm 100% a Munsters girl. This is Herman Munstera.
I mean,
He's looking sad now.
He's looking a little rough right now, but I'm sorry. I refuse.
Yeah.
I can't.
You're just-
yeah.
You
He's
can't?
not going to participate.
All right, he's
No.
okay. Drake, Munsters or Addams Family? Do you have no preference?
No
Yeah.
preference.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm Munsters, absolutely Munster.
Yep.
But I love the interplay. The couple interplay.
Oh,
of the Addams
absolutely.
family.
Yeah.
Morticia and Gomez, like that's really
Yeah.
cool. But
Mhm.
they don't have Grandpa and they don't have little
Right.
Eddie.
Yep,
and
yeah,
so
exactly.
oh, Munsters.
Yeah.
as
Now
well,
I will
so.
tell you, I'm a huge Wednesday fan though too.
Oh,
So
Yes.
I guess it's not quite a choice. But if you're talking about the classic families, then yeah.
Munsters. I think the whole audience is going to vote Munsters, but we'll find out. But while you guys are typing in, your finger is probably not too far from that share button. And when you share this video,
Yep.
we'll know it, and we'll put your name in a drawing next week for a $25 gift card,
Yep.
which we can. I understand.
I mean, that's at least worth a medium cutting board.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. But we'll make sure that if your name is drawn next week,
Yeah.
that we'll make sure we identify you, and then you guys can walk through the door and experience this yourself. But thank you for that. So what's I could just browse, right? Because we just I'm a Halloweeny fan,
absolutely.
but more
Yep.
prints.
More prints.
A couple of favorites here.
Mm-hmm.
Vala Rides a Wolf. Very cool.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Is your home decorated with many
Very
of the
much.
artists and
Art.
stuff
Yeah,
here
very
as well?
much. Yeah, we
our
had
house kind of looks similar
Yeah.
to this.
we had a couple of
Yes.
friends come in pretty early, and they said, "Oh my gosh, it looks great." And then he turned around and he said, "It feels like your living room." So,
So we could just sit down right in those front chairs and pretend that
Yeah.
we're at home.
yeah,
I
definitely.
love the knockers.
Yeah, so this is a piece that this is a section that we were not quite. I wouldn't say we were unsure of, but we wanted to give it a shot because there's a lot of people into the maximalist stuff. We do it at home. We love the feel of it, and so we wanted to bring in some opportunities for just that DIY upgrade that you might not find at Lowe's or Home Depot or something like
And
that.
that's the thing, because so many spooky people, we can't find the things that we want. So
Mhm.
many of us are makers. We'll take reclaimed furniture and do it up our own way, but we can't. Not too many of us can find knobs and
Mhm.
things of that sort. So once we found them, we're like, okay, we're going to put them out there for people. So,
Yeah.
Hopefully,
It reminds me of the of Young Frankenstein, right?
Oh yeah.
Nice knockers,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, those are fun.
and again, if you want to come in here and upgrade your cabinet knobs, you're not talking $20 a knob. You're talking
No, $5 for glass knobs. That's if we can source them well, we're going to pass it on. We're not going to try to we just can't.
We don't upsell just
That's
because
not
we
our thing.
can.
Yeah.
We want to keep it fair. We want to keep it affordable. We want people to be able to do, have nice things,
And have fun. Yeah.
without getting priced out.
Yeah.
I know because we work together,
Mhm.
and Brian, I know. Here, I guess let me reword this. I know that this is, a passion project.
Mhm.
Is this what you guys do full time?
So this is what he does primarily full time.
This is what I do full time.
Mhm.
I had quite a rocky childhood, which led me to to many different kinds of jobs. With just a long wild resume over the years, and ended up finding myself in a great position. I was making skull implants for a small company over on the CSU campus, and unfortunately, my boss, she passed away of breast cancer, and then the company just went into financial turmoil and was dissolved. So there was not another opportunity like that around here, and I had already settled into it for long enough that I just really didn't have a resume that applied to anything around, and so we just started getting our hands
just leaned into it.
Yeah, we just started leaning into it harder.
Yeah. I'm starting to shift a little bit. I've maintained a fairly consistent corporate gig this whole time. But recent changes, I'm going to move more into kind of a contracting consulting role. One of the things I want to do is I want to work with people like us. You know, a lot of times creatives aren't numbers people, and Roger knows this, but my background is numbers. I mean, I'm an analytics geek, and getting in and making databases is still creative to me. So I want to lean into that too and help creatives and creative businesses
she basically
grow.
wants to give corporate level analytics to the average homemaker.
You know, to individuals or small.
Smaller businesses.
Right?
You don't have to be huge to be able to do that.
That the large corporations have.
Yeah.
As we're looking this direction, right, and that camera is being held by Drake, right, as he turns. But the reason why that I'm bringing this up is our sons. We just were remembering that they played baseball, but we're in a season of life that is different than we were 20 years ago.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
I mean, we're not in that grind mode. Our kids are grown, and it allows us to start to push maybe our knowledge and find our passion to. Drive in a passionate direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a nice level of freedom. I mean, in this, we weren't planning this for January. We were probably woefully underprepared, but we just jumped into it because we had talked about it and it was the right space, and we said we're going to do it.
Yeah,
and
we were like, well, the online shop could support it, so let's just do it.
Yeah.
Just see what happens.
Yeah,
and we found that it was enough space to where we could provide opportunity for other local makers, that we could bring in some wholesale also to make everybody happy. We've got it kind of hidden behind these, but we have a production space here
it's not quite ready for people.
You want to point us to where?
I mean, this is going to be the space. So we have eventually our lasers are going to come here. So those will be available for people who want to experiment. We've got, simple heat presses and silhouettes and things.
Picked up a couple of just entry level 3D printers that I'm learning how to use, so I can teach others to use that as well. So,
but really just giving people an opportunity, like some of our consignment artists, if they want to try to do their own mugs, come in and experiment before you order a case of mugs or try and get the equipment to do it yourself or that sort of thing.
We're not asking people to stay in the spooky realm either. Whatever your taste is, if it's anime, if it's, just whatever, if it's D&D, whatever your passion is, you could do what we're doing just in your own style.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we really appreciate the fact that you're sharing your space and your ideas. And I know that there's going to be a bunch of folks that are inspired here in the audience as well. I imagine there's going to be some folks who go, I want to stop down and get to know you guys. Well, perhaps even get in contact. Are you guys looking for consignment artists throughout the year? Do you look at certain times of the year? How does that happen?
Yeah, definitely. We're always, our consignment applications are always open.
Yes.
We're going to plan to review things roughly on a quarterly basis, just to check in, see how things are going for people, that sort of thing. Give people an opportunity to move seasonal products in. So if when we're going into Valentine's Day and stuff, okay, what do you want to revamp? What are we going to change? But for people who just maybe weren't a great fit here, they can move on, and we'll have space for additional artists and stuff.
Yeah.
We want to maintain a balance between the consignment and the wholesale and us. Consignment is something that'll never go away. It's always going to have space here for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because that is really an important piece of this. we probably wouldn't have even done a store if we didn't have the opportunity to bring others in along with us.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I think we're kind of rounding the horn here.
Yeah,
So,
let's look at the accessories and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna follow you, Sarah.
Okay. All right. So we've got the pin wall, which we're obsessed with enamel pins ourselves. And so, of course, once we have the world opened up to us, we tend to go a little wild with our options. But yeah, we're hoping like this is something that we want to start building into another phase of the shop. Is going to be some events and things like that. So for people who collect pins, we want to think about, maybe we host some pin trading get-togethers where people can come and exchange and just hang out and stuff like that. And then we've got all of our kind of more personal care. We've got a full line of Charm Beard Oil Company here that just came in.
For those of us who have beards, this is calling our name.
Exactly. Unisex scents, a couple more feminine scents, that sort of thing, or seance stuff. The Monster and Bride just got here for the Halloween season. I'm partial to the Monster myself. I love that scent.
You mind if I open this up to the Monster?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they describe it as thunder ozone. Do they say dirt? I forget what else. But like fresh rain, that sort of thing. So it's a super fresh scent, but it's got there's just a little something extra to it.
Very like earthy and.
All right, the Monster comes highly recommended. Yeah. So it says so it's a petrichor, thunder, sandalwood, cedar, and clove.
Yep.
What a great.
Yeah, it's a cool, earthy, bright scent.
These are perfect, and the reason why I mention it is because my wife got us as anniversary gifts. It was 2 cents in a box.
Oh,
so
that's
Monster
cool.
in the ride, and so what a great anniversary gift too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a great idea. Yeah. Well, and that speaks to some of the gift stuff that we have going on too. So Charm Beard Oil, he's put together like a gift box set. So you get 2 oils.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. $45 for a box set?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, for the 2 oils and
either a brush or a comb.
And you get to mix and match.
Your choice.
Choose your oils and choose whether you want the brush or the comb.
Yeah, so we're going to see more of that coming into kind of more of the gift giving season. Custom gifts for weddings, things like groomsmen gifts or that sort of thing. But also we're like with the cocktails, we're going to put together some cocktail gift sets and just starter packs and stuff like that to get people going.
The fact that you're bringing the marketing, the passion, the maturity behind this, as well as, wanting to bring people together and their artwork and their craftsmanship, under, one behind one door in a, cool Renaissance area like Old Brooklyn is super cool. Yeah. I see some more artwork.
More artwork. Yep.
More pieces from canvas.
Yeah. We've got Willow and Roxas, our 2 witches right there. We've got a witch coloring book of hers too, which is awesome. I think it's like 25 pages at least or something. Sunglasses are from Nickety Splickety. And then we've got some gorgeous jewelry too. These wire wraps are from an artist out of Las Vegas. That we actually met at a music fest. Super cool woman. Her stuff is beautiful.
Sweetheart.
Some little spell jar necklaces from Mac Riot. She's out of the Akron area.
Who's the artist with this piece?
So this is a Crow's Comforts.
Okay.
This is a cool, I think, if I remember correctly, it's a skunk skull.
It's a skunk skull.
And jawbone. With the turkey feathers and and we've got and the other thing kind of in that DIY effort, we've got loose bugs too. So we've got flat bugs that are unmounted that you can use to do your own little dioramas or terrariums or that sort of thing. something a little different, and with kind of the natural bits that can go with it.
That, you know, people enjoy the oddities. You know, we've vended at a couple of oddities shows, and people enjoy the oddities. They like to go in there and they like to look at them, and they're very interested. And you see people want to get their hands on things, but they don't. Not everybody can afford the finished product, because the finished product is a true art piece, and they can run pretty expensive sometimes. You know, this piece is not going to be cheap, but it is worth every penny that it's. But if you are somebody who can't afford it, or you know, you don't want to spend that on something,
and you want to try it,
we have supplies. We want to start sharing supplies so you can make it yourself. Then you know, you could do your own style. Maybe you like that, but you just don't like the things that are in it, so you want to do something in the same style with just this really cool ghost cicada right here. Then yes, and we have we can direct you to all the tutorials and everything, so you can make it however beautiful you want. We have these little foraging bags. We call them natural bits, but I always make sure to include some fun little findings that you might stumble across in the woods. So, and they all vary, so you can find cool little kits to build your own little terrariums with.
Yeah,
and that's like those are things that people keep. You know, they'll go, oh, this was something that my mother or my grandmother made.
Yeah,
this is just something, you know, a gift that you just set aside. It might move around at different places. You might find it out at different seasons, but that stuff is, you know, artwork or personalized things like that. Yeah, you know, those are heritage pieces.
Yeah, definitely.
What have we missed?
You know what? I don't think there's too much. A little bit more of the women's accessories.
Some hair horns.
Some hair horns just came in for the Halloween season. The headbands that we make.
The little spine hair clips.
Yeah, those are all brand new. Those just hit the shelf.
Yeah, and zipper bags. You know, only $12 and
or 3 for $30.
3 for $30. Perfect for the season, or just kind of those gothic, you know, folks that like like the style.
Yeah, and then I think, I mean, and we have a small book selection started so far. That's going to continue to grow too.
We try to make sure as many of the children's books as possible are bilingual. Yeah,
we found some really cool bilingual, like kind of horror themed counting books and anatomy books and just different stuff.
Yeah.
That, again, you know, you might not find it at the average bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys opening the door. We appreciate you guys joining us today. Remember, if you're just catching the end of this interview, we encourage you to share, because when you share, it gets out to other potential consignment artists. It gets out, you know, out to folks that are going to want to step in here and check it out. People who might be at Never Say Dive, or what are some of the other...
The Geek Peak, the Six Shooter,
6th Street Cycle,
make an afternoon of it and stop and all. And
definitely.
Stop in here.
Check us all out, because there's
really fun stuff happening.
Fun stuff. We're all, you know, super friendly, like open to have conversation. All of these people down here that are running these shops are super nice.
Yeah.
Come in.
And there's a farmer's market 2 blocks down on Thursday nights too.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We'll with a beer garden and
during the farmer's market hours also. So
for folks that are wanting to, you know, just check hours.
Yeah.
Check things like that. What's the easiest way for them to locate that before walking in?
Yeah, Instagram is our primary. Most of our Instagram posts go right to Facebook, though, to the Facebook page, so you can see that. I've just started putting more regular hours out there. You can find us, if you're looking for the location, you can find us on Google Maps. There's no hours listed there yet, while we kind of still get through the soft stuff. But yeah, Instagram is where all the updates go, and then right over to Facebook. And it's Miscreant and the Muse. All of our tags are Miscreant and the Muse. We got really lucky. So yeah.
Thank you guys for allowing us into your
lives,
into your your passions, and into your shop today. Guys, we appreciate you joining us as well. We'll see you in a week or two.
Thanks.